Hello again, everybody. Welcome to our MPTV Coaches Show. Ryan Lindley, Eric Myers. A little different setup this week.
We're mixing it up a little bit. Sometimes you just get a little too static in those things, and you just gotta live a little bit.
Yeah, well, one group that's really enjoying life right now is our girls volleyball team headed to state.
Yeah, great opportunities right there. You know, some big wins on Friday night, and now we're gonna head over to Redbird and hopefully bring home some big hardware.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, right? I mean, you're in the state Final Four. You got a huge win over Providence Catholic in the Super Sectional Friday night. Opportunity to go to state now. We've done a couple interviews with volleyball this week.
We have. So let's start off. Let's go straight to the top, right? Let's get a coach in here.
All right. So Jordan Williams, our head volleyball coach, sat down with us. Let's hear what he has to say. Ryan Lindley back here on our MPTV Coaches Show with Jordan Williams, our head volleyball coach, and coach headed to state. So just talk to me about that feeling.
Oh, it feels awesome to be able to get that finally. Just excited for the girls. I know that they're over the moon about it, and just so excited to be able to do it, and just all the fun and excitement that goes into the week, the experiences, and kind of the reflection looking back on the season and just knowing that they earned it.
Awesome. Let me ask you this question. It's kind of one of those questions that I feel like coaches get asked all the time when they're in the situation, but did you know, right, when you're starting in August, did you think like this might be a state caliber team?
You know, it's always in the back of my mind. I feel like every team that I have had, whether junior high or high school, I'm like, you know what, this could be an awesome team if they do this, and this, if they can buy into some things. We went to a team camp at Purdue this summer, and something that stood out to us is we were playing teams we had no clue. It was all teams from Indiana. And so we'd play a team, and we're like, oh yeah, we played well, but it wasn't, the team wasn't amazing. And then our Purdue coach would come over and be like, that team won state last year over here in Indiana in like their 2A section. And they're like, what? And they're like, they have every kid back. So we kind of started to get this belief over the summer that we could be good. And then when we started out the season, we had some good games and some real games where we just didn't hold our composure the greatest. And it didn't work out. But I'm like, even in our losses, the way that the kids were reflecting and the things that were causing us to lose, the way that they were correcting those in practice, I'm like, in the back of my head, I was like, this could still happen. We were thinking maybe more like regional, sectional, and then whatever happens in the super sectional. But the way that they've bought into things and the way that they have reflected and kind of been open to losses and how to work through losses, I knew it was always a chance to be here.
That's awesome. Let's talk about a couple moments this year, just kind of as the season has gone on. I mean, obviously one that stands out is breaking Metamora's conference match winning streak. I mean, they had 40-plus wins in a row in the Mid-Illini. Just talk about kind of the significance of that, and maybe was that kind of one of those moments you're thinking, wow, I got a pretty special group here?
Yeah, because we had played them earlier in the season, and that was one of those games we had lost our composure. The first time we played them, we won in the first set pretty easily and pretty handedly. And then once they got that feeling of we could do this and we could be the ones to break the streak, I feel like they kind of lost their composure and started to get nervous and felt pressure that they haven't always felt. But then we played them again at a tournament. We had a similar experience. We had pressure. We kind of didn't handle it the greatest. And just going into it, we finally I'm like, just play how you do in practice. Play how you've been playing against all these other teams that you don't have this pedestal. And that's kind of where our motto, don't put on a game on a pedestal, came from. Is I'm like, we have to stop thinking that this game is more important than another and just go out there and play volleyball point by point. And when they did that, I mean, everything just fell into place perfectly. So I think that I was so proud of them of the way that they could buy into that, and just every kid finally truly believed what we've been asking them to do.
That's tremendous. Let me fast forward a little bit. We'll talk sectional. I mean, you played LaSalle Peru, then you played Metamora again. I mean, just kind of talk about those two teams, because I know LaSalle Peru has historically been a pretty strong volleyball program, and then obviously get a chance to, kind of, I guess, break the tie a little bit against Metamora and take home, the season series. And just kind of talk about, when you're in the sectional, those games and that mentality.
Yeah, that was, we go game plan heavy on those. And less about our individual skill that we're working on. And looking at LaSalle Peru, they run a different defense than any team that we play throughout the year. So having to find ways to pick that apart. They also run some different things on their offense that are completely unique to them that we don't see ever throughout the year. So we had to do a lot of game planning against that, knowing what to come out. And it kind of helped us get ready, though, because we had to do that all throughout the Mid-Illini this year, because the Mid-Illini was strong. So we had a game plan for every team. But once we had done that and won, and they saw how well the game plan worked, it was really easy to get them to buy in for a game plan against Metamora.
Fantastic. And then let's kind of fast forward, I guess, to like what we're going to see this weekend. I mean, obviously, first, I guess, talk about just the experience, kind of what's for people that haven't done this and kind of don't know what goes into it. It's not just show up on Friday and play some games. So kind of what's it look like as you get ready to head over there?
So we've still had practice, and sometimes I have to remind people, I'm like, we still do have to have practice and do that, because there is all this great stuff that comes along with it, with photo shoots and interviews and team outings and events. So we have a lot of stuff going on that the girls obviously enjoy, and I enjoy and deserve and everything. But still game planning and again, finally some time to prepare for the team. This in the sectional and super sectional week, we had almost no time to prepare. We had one practice before the game. So a little bit more time to kind of break down. We have to prepare for all three teams, because I don't even really get to watch the first semifinal that well, because we'll be in the locker room during that time. So a lot of that practice and prep, but then on Thursday we get to go over and practice at Redbird, and get in there and get a feel for it. And then Friday we'll have some team events, get to play, and then some Saturday we'll save most of our team stuff for afterwards.
Fantastic. And then just kind of get you out of here on this. I mean, obviously, maybe not necessarily like key to victory, but just something that you feel like, in these last few practices that you want to work on that kind of is maybe just a key to setting up potential success for this weekend.
Yeah, so just kind of knowing a team's tendencies are very important. We know that they like to go to their one big hitter that's going to Wisconsin. We know that they like to go to her a lot. And just kind of keying in on some key features of the other team, but then also focusing on us. We've done such a good job with error control and being able to know what to do with every ball that comes at us. Like depending on where the ball is at, where we can go, where their block is at, kind of picking apart and just remembering all that stuff. So just making sure when they go in that they have a solid game plan, that they go in knowing like in these situations where to go. And just making sure they're fully prepared and make sure they're mentally prepared as well, because I think that's been a big key to our wins here lately has been the mental preparation. So just making sure all that stuff is cleaned up and fine-tuned.
Awesome. Well, Coach, congratulations once again.
Thank
we
you.
really appreciate it. And stick around, folks. We'll be back after this.
Well, as you hear about there, Coach Williams is super excited about getting out there. No game is really big enough, right? You don't ever want to give up or don't want to say one more game. Let's play this game in the moment, and let's win it all for everybody.
Yeah, I'm really excited about just kind of hearing him talk. I mean, it was kind of fun to get a chance to get his philosophy kind of behind the scenes a little bit. And I really did like that idea of don't put any game on the pedestal, kind of live in the moment. I mean, be where your feet are is one of the expressions that we've heard in the past. And just kind of to see that mentality has taken this team a long way. 2 wins from a state title.
So you're right there. And speaking of taking the team a long way, a couple weeks ago we got to sit down with Gracie Junis, senior. She came back this morning and talked with you as well as. So let's go ahead and hear from senior Gracie Junis right now. Let's do it.
Welcome back here. Ryan Lindley here with 2 of our volleyball seniors. We have Anna Robinson, Gracie Junis. Going to state, let's start this. How excited are you?
Yeah, we're so excited. Obviously, it's been so long since a Warren volleyball team has gone to state, so that's so exciting for like the program in itself. But us, like as a team, we're so excited.
Yeah, this is really exciting for us. We feel like it's just none of us can really believe it. Like we've played all these games so far, but we still just can't believe that it's actually true.
That's amazing. Gracie, let me just ask you this, right? So like your sophomore year, basketball went to state. Obviously you're on that team. Do you get to kind of take a leadership role a little bit just because you've at least been through that state finals experience?
Yeah, for sure. And my state sophomore year was kind of a weird year just because of COVID and stuff. Like it was only a one-day state, like you only played in one day, but it was still a good experience, and I think that will give me some experience in like leading the team there.
Awesome. And then Anna, obviously going to state might be the highlight of the season, as it well should be, but like what other moments or a single moment kind of highlights as you look back over the course of this year?
I think in terms of our postseason, I think the game where we beat Metamora for the sectional championship was a more exciting game to play. It was 3 sets. It was really close. So I think like our sectional game was probably a highlight so far. And then like our super sectional game, like the reward for winning that game was better, but the actual game wasn't as good. So I'd have to say the sectional game.
Awesome. And then let me just ask this. Obviously, like it's been a fantastic year. I mean, ton of wins, obviously trophies for the regional, sectional, super sectional, get a chance to go to state. What's some advice that maybe Coach Williams has given you that's kind of maybe carried you through the course of the year?
He always says to us, like before every game, like don't put a game on a pedestal, like just, and he's like, good or bad, the point, you like celebrate it and move on, or like just learn from it and move on.
Yeah, we've said a lot in the second half of the season is to just, if it's a good point, get excited and move on. But even if it's a bad point, like you just gotta move on, because like volleyball, there's so many points that you play. You gotta move on from every single one of them.
Awesome. And then just kind of last thing, I mean, just, obviously you're seniors, you've been through a long career. This is a great way to cap it off. But like, what's one key to success as you get ready for this weekend and playing at State?
I think one of the keys to success that's really worked for us this year, and I've seen it, if it was different in the past years, it wasn't working as well, is that there's really good team culture this year. Like, we all love each other so much, and even though we have a wide range of ages playing on the court, it still works out really well that we all like each other a lot and we all want to be around each other.
Yeah, and I'd also say we game plan very well. Like, our coach does a really good job of like getting us well prepared for our opponent we're facing, so that also really helps us.
Well, congratulations, and we wish you the best of luck on Friday and hopefully on Saturday as well, playing for a state championship.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we had Gracie and Anna Robinson there, and I mean, kind of cool just to hear their perspectives. We'd actually talked to them before we had talked to Coach. I don't know if that was obvious in the interviews, but it's kind of interesting to hear what they said and then to hear what Coach said and see kind of the similarities there. And
it's rubbing off, right?
Yeah,
as a coach, that's what you want.
Yeah.
You want your players to emulate you and speak the same way you do and do those same things. So to hear that out of both of them, it's great things looking forward.
Well, I mean, I think that's what's kind of fun about it, right? You can really tell that they're 100% bought in. And usually when you got a team that's 100% bought in, you got a chance to be really successful.
Great. So best of luck to our Lady Potters as they head over to ISU.
ISU Friday night, and then hopefully Saturday for state title.
Definitely. So what else we got cooking?
Well, let's talk a little bit about swim and dive. I'll let you kind of handle this
So
one.
I'm going to pull out the phone here,
Yeah.
the trustee. We got all of our documentation here. Shout out to Tiffany Parrott for putting everything together. But right out here, sophomore David Morton swimmers had a great meet. 3 more school records were broken at the Normal Community High School sectional. Awesome. So sophomore David Ava Rai, strong 4th place. Kylie Musty took 2nd place in the 200, 3rd place in the 500 freestyle. Maddie Parrott placed 2nd in the 200 IM and 500 in the 5th in the butterfly. And then freshman Maya Happel, 8th place in the 200 IM and 7th place in the 100 butterfly. So great job right there. But I think the big thing, though, was the 400 freestyle relay with Kylie Mousty, Maddie Parrott, and Maya Happel broke the school record for the 3rd time this season, placed 2nd. So awesome job, ladies.
Continue to be successful, continue to grow. Obviously, a tremendous run by our girls swim and dive team.
Yeah, best of luck to you. And then we have one more big cross-country state finals for this weekend, weren't they?
Yeah, and obviously, like cross-country, we talked about all year. It's the opportunity to get to the state finals. Both the boys and girls qualified for state. Boys finished 5th in state. Obviously, a really solid run there. It just kind of, and I think, it was one of those things where you get there and a lot of stuff can happen, but you want to be at your best at the end of the year. And I think qualifying for state at least gives you a sense of that.
Yeah, and let's get a sense of that from the coach. So let's bring back one of our early on guests in this semester. Let's bring back Coach Zeller and kind of hear about his thoughts right now on this season's cross-country team. It's all good, though. Hello and welcome back to this week's edition of MPTV, the Coaches Show, here with Coach Zeller. Cross-country season just wrapped up. State was last weekend. So kind of give our viewers a rundown of everything that happened. Not everything, but let's go with like a synopsis of what happened this cross-country season, boys and girls.
Sure. Yeah, we had a really exciting year. From the very beginning, we realized we kind of had a special group on both the guys and the girls side as far as what we could do this year. And so we set some big goals for ourselves from the start. It was really exciting to see that we performed well in our invites, not just at the varsity level, but the fresh soft level as well. So we were able to bring home a whole bunch of trophies. It felt like kind of double the trophy that we normally get to bring home just because we were winning or placing in a lot of the fresh soft meets as well. And so, it's just future's looking bright from that end. But how we ended it was the boys are Mid-Atlantic Conference champs again. Thank you. And the girls ended up placing 2nd to a very, very good Washington team. Washington ended up placing, I believe, 4th at the state meet. Mm-hmm. So, finishing the 2nd to them isn't too bad. We did really well. And both our fresh soft teams, both the guys and the girls, placed 2nd as well. But going into the state series, unfortunately, due to a little bit of sickness on the guys' side, we didn't end up winning our regional title, but both the guys and the girls advanced to the sectional meet, of which the boys won their sectional and the girls were 3rd. And then we went to the state meet, and the boys ended up placing 5th and the girls 18th. So both of them, we finished 5th last year for the boys, so same placement. but we moved up a spot from last year for the girls. So good
success, right?
Yeah, good end of the season for them. Yep, absolutely.
So looking back over that, lots of things happened, as you said, lots of hardware, lots of trophies, lots of personal records. What's the highlight for you as a coach? Like, what's that one thing, boys and girls side, like what makes it worth it for you?
Yeah, one of the things that we tried to work on this year, I mean, obviously, yeah, the trophies and that kind of stuff is nice, but we tried to work on our community this year is one of the things that we really try to focus on. And, through building connections, that kind of thing. So one thing that was really fun for me, personally as a coach, was just that ability to connect with the athletes. And I think they had a lot of opportunities to connect with each other as well. And so, yeah, the competitions are fun, but I think one of the reasons you do high school sports is because of that community that you get.
So let's think about, you mentioned this a couple of times, lots of hardware at the fresh soft level. So let's look into the future. What's one of those things that you're looking forward to in the future as we move on for next season's cross-country team?
Sure. Well, one of our focuses is continuing to building that community. We've already talked about some things we want to do next year as far as, we introduced a summer retreat, and we already do stuff like our book clubs and that kind of thing, but kind of building off of those, I think there's more opportunities. This is the first year that we had a leadership course that we actually did in the mornings, and so taking those kids that have kind of gone through that training and I'm excited to see what they do next year as they kind of take the wheel for us. And so from that side, and that's the most exciting thing to me, but there's also the competitive side as well, and I don't think we're going to take a step back. I think we're going to have very competitive teams next year as well, especially our freshmen and sophomores as they move up into those varsity roles. So yeah, I'm looking forward for next year.
Awesome. Well, congrats on a great season right there, and we're looking forward to next year. But I'm sure we'll be talking to you in a couple months, right? Track season is just right around the corner,
Yep,
right?
Absolutely. 2 weeks off and right back at it.
Hey, well, congrats. Great job, Coach.
Thanks.
Well, there you have it, Coach Zeller. Obviously, and again, somebody we've heard from a lot. Obviously, he's built a really solid program, and it almost seems now that state is sort of the expectation for our Morton cross-country teams.
I mean, set it high, get there, really big, strong. So, Coach, any final thoughts?
No, I mean, just kind of, obviously, we've big shout out to volleyball, as we said at the start of this. Good luck. Hopefully, they're bringing back a state championship by the time we're talking to you next week.
Yeah, obviously. So, for Ryan Lindley, I'm Eric Myers. Until next week, thanks, y'all.